Louis and Scarlet Devil, let's hop on in and skip through Dark Age, boys.
Well, if you think about it, it makes sense why Byzantine and Chinese are always banned. They both have pretty good economies, amazing units, and they are quite big-brained. And obviously, those pairs are quite big-brained, so they can play both those civs uh, flawlessly. And I'm actually not sure what to expect from either of those civilizations. From uh, Chinese going for Zugunus. Is that the little crossbow archer thing they have? I don't remember the name.
Yes.
To what contract Byzantines will choose. To if one of them is gonna go for pro scouts or fast castle. You never know. It's a mystery.
Yeah,
It's a surprise tool.
the thing about has been a civilization that is very consistent now in pro scouting. The pro scouting has definitely been their forte, and it's on Scarlet Devil to shut that down. The problem is as well, I feel like Louis, he's been so far ahead with this scouting, it felt like he read Scarlet Devil's mind. And he was just able to outrun him and get every single sheep he needed. Scarlet Devil right now running with his loot of a total of 2. Not feeling too happy about that. Now, yes, everyone's like, yeah, Byzantines, they don't need sheep. But the point is not you getting the sheep. It's about denying your opponent those sheep. So,
14 is an amazing number, though.
such a good number to have. And let's make that 15, actually, Mr. Barrel. This man is not
I
done
apologize
yet.
for the mistake. I
Six.
apologize. Oh, then you were wrong as well, then,
Yes.
because you said 15.
Yes. I
So
was
we're
wrong.
both wrong. Louis is better.
Louis already won the game. He's decided we're just gonna go off our vibes and sheep and doing a great job at that. No, Louis is a player that we know on our normal ranked games. So Louis has played 1v1 games a lot. We know where he stands and how good he is. Scarlet Devil, though, the other day, I believe that Scarlet Devil took out quite a bit of top tier players. He's been doing pretty well in the last few events, and people are starting to talk about him. People are starting to ask, like, who's Scarlet Devil and why is he defeating people that we have never seen him defeat before? The Scarlet Devil, new name on the block, but not a new name in the 2v2 scene. This man has been cooking for a while.
Yeah, and I've seen Scarlet Devil play on various occasions, and I like his playstyle. I like how he thinks. Admittedly, though, I am amazed at every pro player that I see, every high-level player, because I could never think that far ahead, and that just shows they are good at what they do. And the pro scouts are coming from the side of Louis, and I do believe that he will research it faster with the IO, with the Imperial Academy helping with the passive income, and the Chinese scout yelling for something.
The Chinese scout has a lot to say here, but with the Imperial Academy, this is something we've been seeing a lot with the Chinese players, and it's pretty funny that we're saying Chinese players because both of these players originating from China. The Chinese civilization not opening with their usual Imperial official opening we saw for so many, I think it was 2.5 years of just the usual IO opening. Now waiting for you to get into the next stage. Oh my goodness, and he's desperate to get these scouts out. When you build your stable with 9 villages, that's when you know what you want. It's like when you ask someone to marry you after 2 months. For some reason, your body, your soul, everything's just telling you to do it right now. And that's exactly what that stable was for Louis. He was ready to commit to it, and he did. He committed to that stable, and he's getting out these units as quickly as possible. We can see with the IO also keeping a very close eye on the stable. These scouts come out in 9 seconds flat.
Yeah, that shows the fact that Louis wants to eat more deer. Just give the man deer and let him be being at peace. While on the other side, Scarlet is making the famous spearman, the Elimination, and sending the scout across the map to see what is Louis up to, which is always important to do.
Now,
which I almost never do.
yeah, no, the scouting is optional for the rest of us in Twitch chat as
Yes.
well. But for Scarlet Devil, he knows that he needs to make a lot of units, he needs to make plays, and he needs to deny the professional scouts. Now, Scarlet Devil got what we would call a Marine Lord spawn here, considering the current meta. We have 2 safe golds here at the back, defended by not a little wall, but a wall, and a few limited A at that. Now, the rest of us, we can see here the building placement pretty far out. There's a lot of opportunities for raiding, and Louis has already started investing in archers. Now, we talked about the Jugunu a little bit earlier, but the problem with Jugunu is you do need to get Song Dynasty, and that takes a little bit more of an investment. That does require him to get the Barbican as well. Unlike Zushi, Zushi can just get it instantly without getting some extra dynasties. And with this amount of food on his side, he is definitely happy to take that. Now, with the mercenary contract on the longbows though, Scarlet Devil should be able to take on these archers quite well, but he needs to find a way to get a lot of oil to be able to handle this, and he actually decides he's not going to be doing that. He's just going for a fast castle. Is he going to gulp? No. No, he wouldn't.
Why not? It's
No,
fun.
it's dirty. We do not believe in gulping. Gulping.
But gulping is good because you eat, and gulp is good. It's a funny dopamine sound when basically you see and hear the gulp sound.
I mean, Derpy Penguin is on my side as well. Gulping is this. I'm telling you guys right now, gulping in Age of Empires 4. Gulping is it's like English villager rushing. If you condone English villager rushing, then I believe you are also the kind of guy who would be gulping on Byzantines. So I should probably start gulping on Byzantines as well. Now we can see Scarlet Devil's about to click that age up. Let's see what the weapon of choice is. The safe one would be the Golden Horn Tower, and he decides to go safe. He just says, I'm just gonna let the passive units do the talking. I am not a dirty gulper. And I feel like Barrel here, originating from Greece, is a little bit biased towards his origin civilization, just living his best life.
I could be, but I don't know. It's just fun when I see the gulp sound, the gulp on the text on the screen, and hear the gulp sound. It just triggers a happy button in my brain. But the astronomical clock tower is gonna get slowly built up on the side of Louis, who is most likely gonna go for lots of nest of bees, which are a unit I have feelings about.
Oof. Oh, is it the same kind of feelings you have about gulping? Because then we might need to have a discussion.
Well, I dislike being on the receiving side of both gulping and nest of bees.
Mm-hmm.
But I like having them on my side. Like I cannot deny the dopamine I get from either a really good nest of bees hit, or from a very good gulping, especially on villagers. But I also, when I see it happening on my base, I cannot help but want to gulp myself and to basically get rocketed. I dislike it when it's happening on me. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm glad you can admit that it is more fun on the giving side than the other. But with the Grand Winery, by the way, the one thing that I want you guys to notice is now he's going to be able to get the monks out just a little bit earlier, I would say. But now it's going to be about control. We see that Scarlet Devil already has the units on his side to be able to protect some of these relics. But you know, there's going to be a safe relic over here. There's going to be a safe relic over here. So the real ones we have questions about is going to be 3 middle ones. Who's going to be able to make those plays? And when I look at these units coming out of Mr. Louis, he's getting lances. And I don't know about you guys. When I'm thinking about a lancer raid, I get a little bit worried.
Yeah, although Scarlet Devil has thought of the lancers and the raids, because Chinese do love to raid with their cavalry units. So he has went ahead and almost walled up his entire side of the map, and has a pretty decent amount of Limitane. I'm not gonna lie, I got distracted by the wall. I thought it was something happening somewhere in the map. So kudos to Scarlet Devil for that. And the relic is not gonna get snatched by Louis. It's gonna get found out. That's a sad priest, a dead priest actually, and a
Yeah.
sad Louis.
You know, he had no time to be sad. He's too dead to worry about
Yeah.
sadness in his life. Unfortunately, Scarlet Devil then, unfortunately for Louis' sake, Scarlet Devil is going to be having a lot of extra oil. But luckily, Louis getting that second monk out, he will be able to secure one of those neutral relics in the case into his base as well. So should not be making that much of a difference considering that China has their IOs and they're just very happily going to be collecting taxes. But look at the amount of taxes.
The cash.
The cash. Yeah, that's a good point. Even this one. Let's see what the mill holds. If I can find the way to click on it. 430 gold. He's like, I don't need those relics, actually. I'm living a really good life, and even though all my boys are working really hard right now, they're gonna be collecting soon. And when they start collecting, I'm gonna be getting upgrades.
Yeah, that passive income that the Chinese have is exactly one of the reasons that they always get banned in events and whenever possible. While on the opposite side, with the Byzantines getting oil from the relics and from the berries and from their farms, it's also another resource that is basically taking time bomb on both sides. From one side you have basically infinite gold, from another you have basically infinite units from other civilizations, but the raid is gonna go through before the wall comes up, and that's the second villager kill of the game. The Lancers are inside the base and slowly going towards the main base, although some Limitane have already been sent to answer that.
The problem is
and the upgrades are coming through slowly but steadily.
Yeah, them getting upgrades, they're gonna be great. And we see what he's getting here is just like getting his eco upgrades on both sides. But Scarlet Devil doesn't have a lot of those Limitane. So even with these Limitane running around, if Louis micros his units fine, he should be okay. The one does take a little bit of damage, but he should be able to go back to base and heal back up with his monks standing at the ready. But the rest of these, they are not looking for a fight just yet. He had them at the back of the base and he did not want to risk them too much just yet. Scarlet Devil though, even though there's Nest of Bees on the other side, and even though the Lancers are there, it still feels like this is a very scary army for him to deal with. Another villager now being sent to clean this up, and Cataphracts joining the party.
Yeah, I was just about to say that even though Gulp does not exist, Cataphracts are gonna get made. I'm not sure exactly what's the plan with this single Cataphract, because it's the only cavalry unit currently in Scarlet Devil's armory, but we do love the Cataphracts, the charge, and the stats. 360 HP. Oof, that's juicy.
Can you tell me a little bit, if you do know, in the Byzantines' history, what was the significance of Cataphracts? Why were they the weapon of choice?
It's basically what they do in game. They were quite heavily armored units. They had some even had the armor on their horses, like we see the model here. And the reason for existence were basically they were being instructed, hey, go charge. And they just charged in order to break the front line. They were one of the elite. What are they called? One of the elite parts of the army of the Byzantine Empire, because obviously Cataphract is quite expensive to train, to maintain the horse, the rider, the armor, and all of those costs. Basically, only allowed the high members of society to become the Cataphract. Like as you can see, like this is gonna be expensive. Chainmail armor on an entire horse.
That does feel like quite an investment, as far as investments in army go. That's really interesting. Okay, so basically you're describing like what the Janissaries were to the Ottoman Empire, also the elite units, also the strong historical units that were just a little bit different from the others. That's interesting. And that's probably
and
why
I like that about AoE, to be honest. The fact that it's very well based upon history, on every civilization, not just the Byzantine Empire, the Byzantines. But yeah, I'm sorry. You were saying?
Oh, no, no. I was so interested in this history lesson. I hope Twitch chat was as well, because I've learned something. I want you guys to notice, though, we're now getting outposts. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't
I saw
know.
that too.
Is
The
this...
Mangonel Tower.
Are we just gonna get a lot of mangonel towers? Oh, yes, we are. Instead of
Yay!
getting a lot of cisterns, he has decided to invest that stone into something a little bit more tricky to handle. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a mangonel tower. Now, mangonel towers are the tower you think you can just run in under, and then you lose your whole army. But luckily for Louis, he doesn't have a lot of army to lose. So maybe that's the play around it. You just get a lot of chunky units to handle what's coming. Those Lemonade, they're going to be running into these, and with these
That's
numbers...
not looking good.
Yeah, it's not going to bode too well for them. But now the problem is Scarlet Devil, he sees that commitment, and he probably realizes, hey, I should probably do something about that. The singular Cataphract is not going to be able to run down that full army.
And another issue that Scarlet Devil has to address at some point is the Nest of Bees, because in order to counter the Knights, he has made basically not armored units, units that do not have armor or HP, and the 5 Nest of Bees that Luis has, although I do not think have been spotted by Scarlet Devil, are gonna be a pain in the side, a thorn at the side. And we see a simultaneous raid happening on both sides. And let's see how many villagers go down, because I do believe some are gonna go down.
Yeah, the wall is desperately trying to get up, but these Nest of Bees can quickly clean up this army. But we can see with the amount of longbow, they do make pretty quick work of this. But also these lances, they get shut down with the amount of Limitanei. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why we build enough production buildings, so that we can build them and actually survive when your opponent is doing a counterattack. So, take this as a note from Mr. Scarlet Devil, who is giving Louis a really hard time so far. It looks like Scarlet Devil respects the fact that they are Nest of Bees, though. He's not overcommitting to this, but he must realize that China loves the late game, and Louis loves the late game. Getting ready for it as well.
Speaking for the late game, we might go for a what's it called, the gate. I do not remember the name. The stone tower upgrade and the landmark for the Chinese that has the Nest of Bees on it. I'm terrible.
Gatehouse, I think.
Yes,
there
that
we
one.
go.
Yes, the Great Wall Gatehouse. But what you just said about having enough production buildings is something that I always take at heart. In my opinion, and as what I've copied from others, is always have your resources as close to zero as possible, unless you are keeping resources for like an age up or something, which appears to be the case for both players. And a huge fight is gonna break out, and the Nest of Bees are looking juicy.
For some reason, my keyboard in that moment disconnected, and I just wasn't able to slow down the battle, because apparently my brain disconnected as well. And I just want to show you guys that Byzantine's outpost honestly won the fight. It kept these guys at bay at the back. It made sure that he was not able to take down the majority of these units, and at the same time, there was some shenanigans happening over here. Unfortunately, because of my big mouse movements, I could not slow down enough for it, and I apologize, guys. But Scarlet Devil, he might be taking us... Well, he is taking us to Imperial. Louis will soon follow. My question is this going to be following up right in the middle so that he can try and gain back some traction? Because this is really scary. Scarlet Devil now... He is allowing Louis to get towers and vision everywhere, and this does make it a little bit better for Louis to deal with this the longer the game goes, because he's going to know where the army is moving. Look at that. He's got the sneaky little Lancer in the base too. He might realize he's behind, but he needs to do some damage too.
Yeah, and something that Louis has to potentially keep track of is the fact that Scarlet Devil has 2 out of 3 sacred sites taken, and the fact that that Scarlet just went onto Imperial Age and that his knight got caught. And thing is that Scarlet has thought ahead and has plenty of outposts right around the sacred sites. So he might be able to hold them and potentially even threaten a win condition from that front, while the Lancer at the back is slowly snacking up on villagers, and the edge up is going through on Louis' side with a great wall gatehouse, as I thought so because of the stone towers. The stone towers.
Yeah,
This is gonna be an interesting game because both saves want to do something and the other has to do something else, which is basically the game, but still.
Both sides realize they don't mind the late game, and I think Scarlet right now is waiting for his upgrades, thinking, okay, that's when I attack. But with Louis aging up too, and Louis having quite a little bit of bank here. Oof. I know, we're
Ooh.
pointing out that yes, the army difference is significant, but the Great Wall Gatehouse, it can quickly level that if you're not careful. Now, the thing is, Scarlet did age up. Let's go see what he aged up with. And that's
The
something that
foreign engineering company, yeah.
And him having this means that he could potentially get some units that can deal with this pretty easily. The Hui Hui Pal, it does shoot very, very far. French cannons also do pretty well against the Great Wall Gatehouse. So this should not make it too difficult. Now, we can see the Lancers are trying to do a little bit of a counter raid. The village is apparently fighting back for a while, trying to probably do a little bit of damage to that ram, but Mangonel Tower does do some damage to the Lancers instead. Now, what most gold players fall for, and when I say gold players, I mean most of us, we're like, oh my gosh, there's a Great Wall Gatehouse. I need to get through it. But Scarlet Devil is no gold player. Not like the rest of us. This man knows I can just go the other way around. So that's exactly what he's trying to look for. But Louis knows, and Louis has walled up already. He's ready to take this on.
Yeah, and with 8 nest of bees and a ninth one coming on the way, it's not gonna be as easy for Scarlet Devil to go ahead and break through and potentially push through to the side of Louis' base. Although that's why he's just queuing up a cannon, a French cannon. I like the French cannon because you have the big boom. That big boom is happy for my brain. Um, Although Louis hasn't really expanded outside of his main base and the main area that he spawned in, he's not at all worried because granaries exist and they provide good food, massive amounts of gold after you put an IO inside and just take those sweet taxes. And this is a very polar game, a very opposite game because Louis has 115 almost villagers, while Scarlet Devil has 130 military units. It's
It does. It's
it's fun.
difficult. The problem
Yeah,
is when Scarlet loses, he's going to struggle to replenish them. He doesn't have that huge farm situation that we usually see here from the Byzantines. He did go for a second T as well to try and catch up to this. But that's the problem with China. China is very, very happy sitting on 2DC Song Dynasty because they know their economy is so strong. And for Scarlet Devil, he's just mentally blocked by these stone walls right now. He knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to go right through them. But actually doing it, that's probably the hard part.
I like the proxy the proxy gold stealing on the side of Scarlet Devil because A, it allows for good vision on the side of Louis, on his side of the map, and B, although the villagers are getting killed as I speak, it does allow for potentially a very good entry point for the army, case in point. And the first university upgrade is going to go through on the side of... Oh, never mind. I didn't see that... Wait. Does China have a free university upgrade? Is there one on the A? For like... Yeah, right there.
That's a good
I'm not-
question. Ooh, are we trying to learn stuff? You and I were like sitting here like, Oh, chemistry.
Oh yeah, chemistry. Yeah, they have it for free. Yeah, forgot.
So they do a little bit more damage in that case. Now with this
More
ram,
spicy.
gonna get shut down pretty quickly. He's gonna be a ram with a very short life coming ahead. The problem now is Scarlet Devil, he's been wanting that French cannon for a while. and he's struggling to get it out because he's at pop cap right now. It does become a little bit harder because you don't want to lose your units. You know that the counter push can begin, and they don't have God vision. He doesn't realize that Louis only has this little army of nest of bees. I call them little, but that's nothing to be scoffing
11
at.
isn't little in any case, shape or form, because they are terrifying. Especially with the absence of HP or armored units on the side of Scarlet Devil. If he doesn't spot the strategy, if Scarlet Devil doesn't spot the 11 nest of bees and the one mangonel, no, not mangonel. What's the name? Damn, I forgot.
Ringalt?
Yeah, the Springard. Yeah. If he doesn't spot the siege units, his entire army is gonna get vaporized. And so Scarlet decides to go with the safe option and goes, you know what? I'm just gonna take the secret side. You come and stop them.
Now, that is a safe option for him, but it is also still risky in the sense that he is letting Louis, or forcing Louis to come out of his base, and he doesn't really know what Louis has on offer. He is going to see what Louis has on offer now, and you can see now Louis is planning for the future. He realizes, I need to secure this big gold, because Scarlet feels confident enough to mine out my big gold, but he still has all of his available. And this little gold that he's on right now, that's the last one in his base he's going to have access to. Now, unfortunately here for Mr. Scarlet Devil, he's still no closer to breaking down anything. We'll have to see what that French cannon's plan is, but now Louis starts to get a little bit more comfortable raiding. Now, Louis is not going to be able to go and raid this for free, but he is definitely going to be able to force Scarlet back into his base every now and again, unless Scarlet starts to take this pretty seriously, like Louis did about, say, 15 minutes ago by getting stone walls.
And that showed the fact that Louis knew to give Scarlet Devil the map control and just plan on defense and not allow Scarlet Devil to enter his base and snack on villagers. I say as more villagers get killed, unfortunately. And Scarlet, even though he has walls, they do not amount to much, especially in the Imperial Age. And as 3 Limitani chase down a bunch of villagers, the villagers just ignore and are like, I'm gonna break down this door. I want this door out of here.
And the door they get out of the way is a very important one. The villagers he may get out of the way is not a very important one, because these villagers can get replaced at the base pretty easily. Now the problem is here, this is China, and China has insane building speeds. You may shut down this gold of Scarlet Devil pretty quickly. The French cannons now, they have their eyes set on the Great Wall, the Great Wall Gatehouse. We got there. But now the villagers are trying to fight back. The problem is, this thing is going to fire back at them, and the villagers still focused on everything else here. It doesn't look like Scarlet wants to lose these villagers. He knows he has a limited amount, and look at that. Louis says, I'll just make siege in your base, actually. This is how I usually deal with my problems.
Yeah, the proxy base is almost always a very fun idea. And apparently Louis ran out of gold, ran out of wood to repair his spy landmark. But the proxy base is starting to go up, but a good mass of Scarlet units army is there to defend and deny Louis the opportunity to have a very easy entry point to his base, and also deny the denial of his gold.
Well,
That was a weird sentence to say.
This is pretty crazy to me, though. The fact that Louis is still like, oh, don't worry, I'll just keep sending these guys into your base. I'm gonna idle your economy. And it's already working. Scarlet Devil, the numbers are falling. He's not in a position he was back then. He might lose this, but it doesn't mean that he's lost anything. The villagers, yes, they got some idle time out of Scarlet Devil, but the villagers that Louis lost, he might think that this has been worth it. The French cannon at the front here also does go down, and this is the problem now. Those nest of bees, they're really scary.
Yeah, and actually that was, I think, the second French cannon that went down. The one at the top just holding on to the base, and the raids are costly for Scarlet Devil because he doesn't have the surplus of villagers that Louis has. He doesn't care if he loses 10, 20, 30 villagers because he just has less. And now the Nest of Bees just mow down on every unit they come across. The counter keep on where Louis' keep used to stand is gonna go up, and villagers sneaking into Scarlet Devil's base. Louis just wants to make a proxy base, I think.
And
He likes the idea.
I honestly respect him so much for this. I'm so excited to see what this is actually going to look like, because that feels like the kind of thing that Scarlet Devil was not prepared for. This is not standard from a Louis game. When you see Louis play, you're like, okay, Louis, the standard player, he knows how to be aggressive. You get him to the late game, you can maybe out macro, out micro, try to do a few raids. This game has not been one of those. It hasn't been one of those where he lets you get into the base. It's not been a game where he lets you stand still for even a second. This has just been constant pressure now from Louis the moment he reached maximum population. Now the keep we can see here getting the bombard in placement as well, the cannon in placement, but at the back here, Louis is still building stuff. Cataphract doesn't realize yet.
Yeah, he has other business to attend to. But the thing is that in the midst of all those battles, Louis' economy is very much better from the fact that he has plus 60 villagers to the granary transition being done, to taxes, to Yuan dynasty, to just about every buff and little thing that Chinese are very good at providing to themselves to boost their economy. Scarlet Devil has lost for now map control, but we do not know what will happen yet, and that's why we're here to do.
Oh my goodness, I feel like we know what's about to happen. The man is getting overwhelmed, his economy is getting idle. Every single palace guard that comes out gets an overreaction from all the cataphracts, and that means he's going to move his army into, again, an a bad position, and that's just going to be so good for Louis to do the slow push with his Nest of Bees. He does realize that there might be some shenanigans going on at the back of my base. Let me go and handle that. And Scarlet Devil, he's dealing with Louis, and the only reason there's not more units in his base is because Louis is pop capped, and Scarlet is nowhere close to it. We can see now he's on 17 food, and even though his food per minute is okay, it's not okay for Imperial. Imperial Age income, it needs to look like Louis is looking, so Louis, he's just going to be throwing his units into the meat grinder without even flinching. And those Nest of Bees are about to clean up most of what Scarlet Devil has.
Yeah, that's a scary looking fight there. When you have to face 12 Nest of Bees, those are gonna mow down just about everything, from units to walls to buildings to your base to the world, to the entire world. This is looking kind of tough. However,
they
I
might
don't know.
be the answer.
I have no however.
They might be the answer that he's been looking for. We can see the cataphracts have their eyes set on these boys. They're charging in on top. Is he going to be able to get... it was quite
one down.
Anticlimactic. Yeah. He does
Two
get
down.
a few.
3.
Wow.
That's good.
I did
4?
expect things to explode when he got on top of them, but at least some of them died.
Yeah, he got 4 of them, which it isn't much, but it's honest work. 5 potentially.
Ooh.
Yep, 5. It's helpful for the side of Scarlet Devil, but the proxy base has done its work, and units are slowly still trickling in on Scarlet's base, and the top gold has been denied, and I do not think that Scarlet Devil will have easy access to that gold for some time. But the cataphracts do run around, do still deny pushes here and there, and the Rams are ramming.
The problem with Rams being, well, Rams ramming, they've rammed down the keep. They've rammed down the big gold that Scarlet was very confident to take over on the other side of the map. And again, idle villages consistently. And between all of this, you can see that Scarlet is overwhelmed. These guys are farming all the way over here, don't even have a mill to drop them off at, and that just shows you what Louis is doing. Louis is getting the attention of Scarlet, and he is completely overwhelming him. These guys are running in every direction. It looks like this could be a fight that could decide the game right here. These cataphracts do need to get into the back line.
The
but
nest of bees, though, that was a scary volley of fire and angry bees. But the cataphracts do manage to penetrate the backline and start trickling down on the nest of bees. That's a massive hit on the side of Louis, because nest of bees were basically half his army. However, he keeps losing more and more villagers on the backside because of the palace guards being there and slowly chopping down on the villagers as if they are weeds. The French cannons start to do what's French to do their best work, which is destroy. And let's see who a base race, I think.
Yeah, this feels like this is my army. This is what I've got, and I'm gonna make something happen with it. Scarlet now, he does have quite a bit of army, and Louis, he can replace his though. So with these nest of bees in production queue, he wants to double down on this. The problem is those French cannons are super scary, and they do break through things pretty quickly. Now, the palace guard numbers don't make it look like they're going to have anything to deal with this. The Great Wall Gatehouse apparently not allowing you to pass through once you break down the gate. I mean, it does look pretty deceiving over there.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a visual bug, but I don't know.
Louis, you sneaky boy.
The second proxy base at the bottom of the base of Scarlet's base. I think Scarlet's plan is to basically destroy all the landmarks, which is honestly a good plan because he's halfway there already with the 5 cannons on the way.
But Louis is not stopping. Louis says, I'm just gonna keep going at this. The nest of bees now on the side of Scarlet Devil. He's gotten this thing, but it doesn't look like it will live very long. The farming economy about to get shut down now. And the army here on Louis' side, he's starting to replenish this. And it's still gonna be quite scary to deal with. Even those handful of nest of bees, he needs to focus them down instantly if he wants to have a shot. Now with the keep here, it looks like it's an actual base race, yes. The rams being produced from the back line, it's going to be so hard for him, and he's now just mining stone inside the base of his opponent. And the cataphract numbers, they're going down, but I don't know if they're going down fast enough.
Yeah, fortunately for Scarlet, and another keep. That's what the 4th keep that Louis has put down on Scarlet's base or something. However, like Scarlet has the cataphracts. They're tanky, they're beefy, and 6 cannons. The angry cannons.
The problem is that's not a lot of cataphracts. The thing is, there are just a handful of landmarks left here. We do see one of the landmarks, 2 more landmarks. It does look to be a base race. It does look like both of them now trying to fight it out. These guys trying to stay alive as long as possible. He's got a French cannon over here trying to restore his previous honor. And Scarlet, he has 1 more landmark to snipe, and it doesn't look like Louis is ready for this. The army has been depleted. Louis' almost perfect play, or comeback play, did not pan out well enough. Oh, insane.
And that's GG. Actually, that was an insane game. From both sides, from the proxy base first on Scarlet Devil side, on the South Gold, to the North Gold being denied by Louis with the first proxy base, and then the 5 keeps and the 10, 15 nest of bees. That was an amazing game on both sides. That's almost like a cardiogram, not gonna lie.
I feel like if Scarlet just stopped that push, like if he stopped pushing, Louis would have overrun him eventually. That was his one way of beating Louis, and that was an amazing showing. Guys, Scarlet Devil is upping the stakes a little bit and showing us that even though Louis has been the favored to take most games, he's got a little bit of fight in him.
Yeah, that was a very nicely executed game on both sides, and that just goes to show the level of both players, how well they think, like 5, 10, 15 minutes ahead of the game, and
Mm-hmm.
making plans and doing actions that change the outcome of the game entirely. From Louis turtling inside his base and producing so many nest of bees to defend, to Scarlet after losing his most of his army, going into cataphracts and the French cannons to go in a base race while losing villagers from the proxy base from of Louis. Amazing.
Both of these players showing us that they have some plays up their sleeves. And guys, big surprise. The next game is two civilizations that I think a lot of people have been requesting. I just don't think they've I don't think they've been requesting them in the setup. But guys, this is going to be Archipelago. And we have English versus Mongols, which I don't have any comments on. I feel like we haven't seen Archipelago in such a long time because most people just veto this map in tournaments. Now, this does mean that we get to see a little bit of action here from both of these players because, my goodness, we are forcing them to play ladder maps, and that's exactly what these lads will be doing. So, guys, English versus Mongols on Archipelago. I never thought I'd see the day. Where's my sushi?
Well,
Where's my China?
Same. Admittedly, I haven't not explored the world of fishing inside AoE4. It's something that I am quite afraid of. I do not know what its ship does, the counters and stuff. I usually just read stuff as I play. And having the Mongols and the English, where one is known as a very well raiding civilization and being everywhere with the outposts and the Mangudai and the Khan and the Khan's hunters, and the other being a turtling, towering civilization with the best keep in the game, uh, is something that I didn't expect, especially in Archipelago. The Abbey of Kings is gonna go up, and the Deerstones on the other. I like the choice, especially since, for example, Council Hall won't have much of a value, since you use the wood for dogs and ships and stuff. And what's the other Mongol feudal? Oh yeah, the Golden Tree.
Yes, yes. With no trade possible on land, it doesn't seem to be the viable option here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 5 because I know nothing of fishing, so I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, so let me tell you guys about the land of the fish, as I am now the resident expert here, apparently. Now, guys, what I want you guys to notice is with Archipelago, you have a very open map. And usually the island spawns are quite a little bit of a clown fiesta. So this could mean a lot of things for a lot of people, but usually it doesn't mean a transport ship this early in the game. And with a king, though, you're forcing your opponent to invest in land units. So even if Scarlet Devil does manage to win the water for now, Louis should be able to use this king to slow down his opponent quite a bit. The problem is, he's playing against Mongols. And as we can see, the Mongol TC is very much on top of the wood line here. He's perfectly okay dealing with it like this. But the market coming out from Scarlet Devil as well just shows us he's got something up his sleeve. And he's going to be trying to reallocate some resources here. Now, let's go look at the water fight. It does look like these bad boys are going to be heading out just to protect the water for now. And both of these players not overly investing into water just yet. We do see that both of them are trying to make as much as they would need. I would say Scarlet being a little bit more of the aggressor on this case. Louis playing very reactionary. And behind this, we see Louis, 400 food, 230 gold, I don't know if we're already smelling someone who's sneakily going castle. And with the amount of guys on gold, honestly, I would not be surprised. Now, with these guys, they are able to run around quite easily and just heal up, go back in. Heal up, go back in. Get a little bit of idle time. And because this is not a French knight, it doesn't two-tap a villager that easily. But Louis has decided he is investing. He's getting Admiralty, which does give his combat ships +1. So, did float around a few ideas, as we can see, trying to decide, do I go for my upgrades or do I go for castle? But realizing he's not going to get into this wood line too easily, I think he's just going to try and fight the water fight anyway. Now let's go see what the man goes for next. Another Springald ship. And that's the thing about Louis. Both of these players, they are for once playing on their low ping server. Because both of these players, when they get matched up with Europeans and Americans, they do have to play on some suboptimal servers for their ping. So now he does get a little bit of idle time. It does slow it down a little bit. But Admiralty has kicked in. And Scarlet Devil with soon to be 8 demo ships. He's not going to mind taking this. But he needs to make sure he micros those perfectly. Because if he doesn't, this is going to go in his favor very quickly. Oh, in Louis' favor very, very quickly. Now the galley does get picked off. And Scarlet is a man who's doubling down on the war junks. He does not believe he needs anything else. And now with English, you can see how that +1 range is going to be paying off. But it feels like Scarlet knows this. Scarlet knows this and he was ready for it. Now he did get a little bit of idle time here, but the king does go down. So that means the presence on the land is going to disappear as well. And these boys are flanking. Now we don't know if they're flanking straight for the docks, but it does seem to be the case. The military battle at the front here, it does seem to be backing off, but at the same time, let's see. It does look like he's taking out all the eco. He's trying his best to, at least. And with these 3, he should be taking out a ton more fishing ships, exploding right on top of them. Very unorthodox from most players. Usually, with your demo ships, you do make plays to try and take out the army. But this does put Louis in a very peculiar position now with those fishing ships. He did lose all that water economy. And that was his food income. So very, very interesting strategy here from Scarlet. Because the problem is he sacrificed a lot of those military ships. And now if Louis pushes, he can possibly do the same. Now with these fishing ships on the front lines, he does pull them back. He might lose 1 or 2. He does lose 2. And this does get a little bit harder. But at the same time, cavalry has arrived. And when I say cavalry, I mean men-at-arms, apparently. These guys, they also have +1 pretty soon. So this is going to mean that they're going to be able to take quite a bit of a punch. And it looks like Louis is trying to take this fight properly. He does have to fight against these explodatory junks, and they don't land any connection just yet. But the English army looks like they reign supreme. The problem is, with these men-at-arms, Scarlet Devil is distracted because he's focused on the water. So many villages have gone down, and that fishing ship situation we saw on water where all of them exploded, and yet again all of them exploded. The same thing's happening back at home with these men-at-arms, and now this TC firing back. It will be able to handle it, but a lot of damage was done here to Scarlet Devil, and that lead that he had economically did not last very long.
And I'm back.
Well,
hey again,
back.
people.
You missed something crazy, but it's okay. Like we're just getting a lot of men-at-arms. We have a villager building men-at-arms inside the base.
Proxy bases.
Of course. Louis is showing us a different side of himself. He's showing us that he doesn't just play the water the way water is to be played. He's playing water a little bit in a different way.
Well, why play the game when you can play the man? Is my answer to that.
Ooh.
Like, just do not think outside the box. Think inside the man's head and just be annoying, you know. Because the man-at-arms, high base damage, quite good armor, especially when they become chads in the castle age. And to have them in your base, as it so happens and so appears, is annoying.
The crazy thing is it's happening on both sides. It feels like he's losing attention on both sides. And now with these ships from Scarlet Devil, he did do a lot of damage here, but it feels like Louis was able to just recover and get his economy back on water after losing all the fishing ships. And Scarlet Devil realizes, I cannot deal with what's in my base. Let's go to the next game. This was enough. But so luckily,
Yeah,
your
although I
break
missed
saved
it.
you water. And I'm really happy for you
Yeah.
because it was crazy.
Admittedly, yeah, I still have a lot to learn, especially about water and water maps and how to deal with them and stuff. I'm gonna assume it was an awesome game. Um, it seemed so because to have feudal men at arms raiding in a proxy base at the other side of the map, and one player winning at water but losing on land and losing so many villagers. That's insane, to be honest, to me. But yeah, GG's.
Louis playing the man, just like you said. I love that quote. I'm gonna take that quote. Just don't play the water, play the man. And that's exactly what he did. He's pulling out a side of him that we had not seen before. And I think this is exactly what we wanted to see out of Louis. He's been a guy who's able to take down most top players, but he hasn't consistently been showing up in top placements either. So this is a very important part for him to be able to come back and show that Scarlet Devil's not the guy who's going to be taking him down. But we'll see. It does feel like Scarlet has something else to say. Keeping in mind that this is a best of 5 and mirrors are allowed, we're going to be seeing a lot more of the civilizations that you guys get to play on ladder. And ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the next one where we are going to see another splash of water. But there are some questions about how important it is, depending on who you are. Now, with Louis, we can already see he is he maybe has a mindset that you mentioned a little bit earlier. Play the man, don't play the water. But
Exactly.
Scarlet wants that water.
Well, I guess we'll see if then Louis is gonna play the man or the water. But in any case, I like the fact that that Scarlet has picked OTD. I honestly love the concept of a civilization that is like, you know what, you're gonna get less units, but they're gonna get buffed. They're gonna be buffier. I don't know. I like the concept. It seems fun. Seeing like 5 men at arms, and you're like, oh, what are 5 men at arms? But no, they're gonna destroy your base and leave you wandering.
Now, with these amount of men-at-arms that you can possibly see from Order of the Dragon, it's so important to have the food sources. And I think with Order of the Dragon, you already have a civilization that benefits so much. Just like most civilizations benefit from food, but they need that extra bit of food because their units are just that much more expensive. And even though they're double as strong, if you lose them, the price is quite high because you lose so much more in that case. And Byzantines has been known as a civilization that is quite good at handling the Order of the Dragon because they can pump out huge masses of units. Now, Byzantines does take a while to get online, and I don't think that Scarlet is going to mind delaying this either because Byzantines, they don't get a unit instantly unless you go Hippodrome, of course, but they do take a while. They need their wood. They like to get their gold quite slowly. Everybody's vibing. Everybody's just living a good, slow life. And Order of the Dragon loves that because that passive income that they're getting is going to be so key in their big, big mass that they'll be sending into your base.
Yeah, and unfortunately, for your plans of seeing horses, Louis is going for the Grand Winery.
Oh.
I think that was a misplace, that's why it got cancelled. I got confused there for a second myself. But the Grand Winery is gonna go up, and of course, Scarlet Devil is not quite close to choosing a landmark as of now. However, it would seem that Louis wants to go for the safe option, the most usual one, I think. I think most Byzantine players go for Grand Winery these days, rather than the Hippodrome. And I guess we'll see how this goes.
Now, with Louis going for his Grand Winery in this position, this is again a very controversial position. A lot of people, most professional players, this is actually the first pro game I see where someone is putting it this far out. Usually you put it quite close to the TC, it's quite nice and safe. But him knowing that Order of the Dragon is going to be on water, he might be thinking about the late game here, ensuring that the late game does pay off. Now, with this being a mill and a monastery, it's not going to allow you to drop your wood down here like we see with the Japanese. He's still going to have to build a lumber camp over here, but it does allow you to have a lot more farms in here and get that boosted economy. Now, Louis might be just thinking ahead in that case, but Scarlet, he doesn't want to age up too late either. We can see with him aging up with 7. Again, very controversial here from a lot of people. When we're seeing Order of the Dragon age up, usually you see 2, maybe 3 villagers age up. If you want to rush it, I have not seen 7 in my life. But this man, he's probably going to be planning to get a lot of ships out to try and get that food economy going.
Yeah, and what you mentioned about the 7 villagers is true because obviously even the villagers of Order of Dragon aren't normal, just the usual run-of-the-mill villager. They are stronger, better, faster, and whatever. And so the fact that he aged up with 7, I think just goes to show the fact that he wants to not lose the 30, 45 seconds that he basically lost due to the fact that he had a villager go up to the water, build the mill, and that his early game was switched so that he could go for the fishing. However, Louis has thought ahead and has already made a dock and a galley, and is causing trouble, and the scout slowly punching away at the dock.
Yeah, this shows you exactly why Scarlet Devil also aged up with this many. You realize, hey, I'm gonna get pressured on the water, and let me go and get the wood I need to actually do this. And that's something I completely missed in that moment, because I feel like when you're trying to see, oh wow, Louis, what is he doing? These people are scouting. They have eyes behind their behind their head. They've got eyes in their arms. They've got eyes on their feet. These men see what's cooking. They know exactly where to go. And Louis is still investing onto the water. Now, the Dromon being chosen here, and this is why Byzantines has not been known to be a very water-heavy civilization. It does have Greek fire, just like a nice little fire ram. But it does feel a little wonky. It does do that nice little AoE damage. So we see the galley taking a lot of damage from this guy. But he needs to be careful because Springholds are going to deal quite well with this, as well as demo ships. So now you do get to see a little bit of, can Byzantines even handle the water? But honestly, what we saw in a previous tournament, Wham did win a full water game with Byzantines.
Well, admittedly, looking at least historically, the Byzantines were quite formidable fighting in water, mostly due to the Greek fire. So I guess he will be literally fighting fire with fire, demo ships versus demo ships, and the Dromos and the Greek fire. It will be interesting because I guess Louis decided to blame both the water and the man in this instance. And I don't know, I guess we'll see. The sisters do slowly get scaled up and more get added by the minute. So that's another boost to Louis' economy as a demo ship goes down.
Now that was a very important piece of micro there. That demo ship might have felt a little bit more confident moving forward. But look at these Dromons. If they start target firing that dock, I would not be a very happy dock right there. But thank you very much, Adamkin, for the sub as well. And as we're going in, the Dromons are getting ready to do AoE Byzantine fire. And look at that. He's trying to get a demo ship on top of them, but the galleys are doing work. A connection at the back though, and that just shows Scarlet Devil. He is the devil. He is sneaky and he finds a way to get on top of those ships. These guys will be able to go home and heal up a little bit. It depends if Scarlet has the ability to try and push this back. He did lose his water economy, so that lead that he needed is not there right now. And it feels like Louis, with those cisterns that you mentioned, does have that eco boost, and he's very happy with it. But keep in mind, same with the Order of the Dragon, they're also getting their villages buffed a little bit, and they're already a little bit better. So he's probably not too unhappy with the situation. And now with the double dock, he's really hoping to take this water. It doesn't feel like Louis is going to be ready for this. I just feel like Louis, though, he wants to go face first.
I think he feels ready for this. The demo ships go down, and only 2 connect out of the 3, on both sides included. The Dromos do go forward and attempt to melt at the galley. I think that's the ship that almost got melted. Yeah, the galley. I was correct. Yeah, I'm learning stuff. The Dromos are quite tanky, as you might have seen. They have 500 HP each, and so they're able to just go forward and start melting stuff, and Greek fire and water, they do not mix, and the fire prevails. It's one of those mysteries that we have yet to figure out.
Very realistic. I'm really glad we can get an analysis here from our historian on how the Greek fire was used. How actually? No. I'm gonna ask because I'm actually super interested. Were Greek fire used in battle?
Yeah, it was one of the reasons that the Byzantine Empire was so good at fighting.
On water?
Because when, yeah, imagine you're like, I don't know, you're an Ottoman soldier and just going ham against a Byzantine fleet of ships, and they just bust out fire. You're like, haha, fire and water. Well, you're a silly goose, and it just the fire keeps burning. You're like, what? It's scary, especially when you do not know how to make it, you do not know how to counter it. The demo ship does connect on both sides actually, and it would seem that Louis is using the Greek fire to basically relive history, with the Byzantine Empire having such supremacy on the water. Unfortunately, it looks that maybe Scarlet Devil might lose water, at least for now.
He actually looks like he's completely pulling off of water, while Louis is investing a little bit more. But keeping in mind, he's investing a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that this is bad for him. He can now get that extra bit of boost that he would need. And Louis behind this, we'll see now if that army mass on land is going to start making a difference too, because Scarlet Devil realizes he's lost the water. He realizes the Greek fire prevailed, to my biggest surprise, but apparently, Barrel, you knew it from the get-go. So now we'll see if Order of the Dragon can actually outperform and get into Castle, but Louis says, I'm going to go to Castle too, actually. So he's making the units that are basically free, and we're going to see if those are actually going to be able to do a little bit of poking when they get to the other side. And honestly, it looks like they'll get this for free because the next gold is very far forward. So once they get on top, I would not be surprised if this is going to be a tap out from Scarlet Devil.
Yeah, and especially with the outpost right outside Scarlet's base. Even though he's aging up with the burger, with the good. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. I was gonna say that I like the choice of javelin throwers, because obviously crossbows and archers from the side of Order of the Dragon are stronger, and having a counter to ranged units is gonna help. I guess because Scarlet Devil lost water and also was caught right when he was aging up, he decided to tap out. And that's another win for Louis, and another GG, to be honest. I didn't expect the FF, but I'm gonna assume he knew something that I don't.
So no, basically, I'll explain the FF to everyone because I see a real deal in chat also asking. You just walked in and GG'd. Now, I wanted you to think about how much gold he had at that moment. So when he aged up, let's quickly go down here to the gold count. You can see here he only had less than 183 gold on him. He's opening with a burger. What now? There's absolutely nothing he can make out of that burger unless it's just spearmen. And spearmen, honestly, especially because they're going to be Dark Age spearmen, they need to be upgraded. There goes your first piece of gold. Then, the next piece of gold is non-existent. And there you have it. There you have your Feudal Age spearmen fighting against these javelin throwers that are now inside your base and denying you off of any gold. He realized the moment those javelin throwers hit his base, he was not going to stand a chance at getting any more gold and being able to take them down.